It's time to dad.
And welcome back to the Time to Dad podcast, guys. It's been a bit since I've got to bring you all on in. Joining me tonight are Julian, Joshua, and Nicholas. And we're going to be talking about a few things tonight, mainly about our past, weirdly enough. Some of us have good memories, some of us have bad. But yeah, we'll see what comes out of it. And what have you got to bring us in on, Julian?
I remember something that we were just talking about was like just fun childhood memories. And unfortunately, most of mine were in some way, shape, or form not fully legal. But it depends on the random friend groups that I had at the time. Like I remember when I was friends with these kids, Travis and Charlie, like they were really big into graffiti, but I don't have a artistic bone in my body, so I was just usually the lookout. But I just remember like going through the city, like in the middle of the night, they just have little drawstring backpacks with like spray paint and a bunch of stuff, and I'm just like, I also had another group that I was into that was really into free running, so I'd like climb to the top of a building and I'd be lookout, and
parkour.
If there was exactly, and and if anyone was ever come by, just give them a good caw, and then they just like dip out and hide or something. And I don't know, me and my friends, we were just always out around the city, just doing whatever we could that didn't cost money.
That call's been around from the 80s. I just want to throw that out there.
Oh, really?
That's what we were using in the mid to late 80s.
I should have thought of something more unique, given them the little elephant sound or something.
Man, you guys were organized. When we were doing stupid shit, we were too young, so we'd end up yelling out like somebody's name, and then we'd be busted.
Hey, Nick Bohm, get out of there! Stop doing drugs.
Exactly. Oh my god, that's funny. I don't know. I just did the usual shenanigans. Most of us had like woods. Did you guys ever, were you big into riding the radio flyer through the woods down a hill?
Oh yeah. We had a lot of, well, it depends on how old we were, either hold my Kool-Aid or hold my beard and watch this.
Yeah.
Even when we were teenagers, we tried to do our own version of Jackass.
That is when we started. That was when Jackass came out, and we would build. My buddy had this super steep, like wooded hill, and back behind it was like this lake/swamp. And we would purposefully build obstacles and ramps that we knew were just going to fail, and it was going to be miserable. I don't know. Nobody ever got seriously injured, and I don't know how the hell that happened. But we did some really dumb shit in that wagon going down the hill.
You're a lot more durable when you're younger. I remember we had our BMX phase, and our favorite day of the month was bulk pickup day, because everyone would be throwing out plywood and shit you could stack it on, and then we just jump ramps. And I remember hitting it, and you don't plan it. Everyone's just back to back to back, just on a bike going as fast as they can. Mm-hmm. And the first guy crashes, and then you just make a giant kid pretzel, and you're all just intertwined with your bicycles on top of each other, and you walk it off.
Oh, I remember. No, you're good.
You can go ahead, Nick. So I remember I was a witness to it, but I wasn't involved, if that kind of makes sense. So Jackass first came out, and so one of my friends decided it'd be a great idea to tie a large metal trash can lid to the back of a truck and go down the highway.
Ooh.
Like bobsledding?
Yes.
Dude, we did.
How'd that go?
Yeah. Actually, he came out unscathed, because when they went off the road, the lid, like, it hit the grass, and he just launched off into the grass, and he popped up and he was fine. That could have been way worse.
If we get like an inch of snow around here, like the city just stops. Like nobody goes out. The highways don't get plowed, and so I think it was in high school, because we were all like driving lifted off-road Jeeps at the time, and we went and got on I-64 with a bunch of like sleds tied to my buddy's trailer hitch, and went down 64 doing like 60 miles an hour on a sled for like 4 miles.
So the roads are not getting plowed, but other stuff's getting plowed back home, right?
When there's snow on the ground?
When there's snow on the ground. Because 9 months later, that's when all the babies
No.
come, right?
That's that COVID
Not
hobby.
not at high school.
Oh,
Yeah.
high school.
We did more of that stuff with skateboards, man. We did the whole t-shirt hanging on the back of the car thing.
Oh,
We
yeah.
watched Gaming the Cube, all these old
Nice.
skater movies. But I ended up going with
So-
a few cars because people thought that'd be funny and hit the brakes.
Oh,
Ooh. Be like Wile E. Coyote just hitting a wall, man. Just-
see, everyone talks about like bullies nowadays. Our best friends bullied us. I feel like worse than bullies are today.
My brother apologized to me as an adult for bullying me as a kid.
Yeah,
That's awful.
It's too late.
the damage is
Damage is
done.
done.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. Like I don't know if I got call it bully, but I mean, I got hazed, got picked on. So like, especially since I had a stutter, you know. But like, I remember the captain of our football team, like he ripped the arm off of a desk, and we all got paddled as like part of our
Paddled?
initiation of making varsity.
Oh.
You know,
You said desk, and I straight up thought, like, did he rip an arm off of another kid? Like, was that a hazing activity? I was
Oh,
shocked for
shit.
a second.
I don't miss those desks because I'm fucking left-handed, and there were no left-handed desks.
Yep.
So
Same
not
here.
only am I
I'm-
smearing my shit all over the paper because when you're a lefty, that's what you do. You just erase everything you just wrote. But I didn't even have an arm support, so
You say
Oh, yeah.
you
I'm
also
sitting
left-handed?
like facing the guy beside me, trying to be able to write. What'd you say?
I was saying,
Oh yeah, I'm left-handed too.
who
Oh, you?
was left-handed?
Yeah, see?
Okay.
Oh, you're all heathens.
Wait, are you left-handed?
I'm saying,
No,
Yeah.
I'm right-handed.
Oh shit!
Julian, you're the odd one out, you, man.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
could
No,
have a
I am.
majority if one
Yeah.
two more people are
He's
left-handed.
worried about something important just so we can win.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't
So,
interrupt you, Nicholas. Carry on.
Oh no, they're good. That was my thought.
So I grew up in Texas, and not a whole lot to do out in East Texas, so we had to make our own fun. One of my buddies' grandparents owned a sweet potato farm, and after sweet potato season was done, we would go out there and we would play war, like capture the flag. We'd build for like we would spend a whole week like building forts after school, and then over the weekend we would have a 72-hour like just war, and we're shooting artillery rounds at each other. We're chasing each other down on the back of a truck with frozen paintballs shooting each other.
Oh no!
We were taking dirt clods and soaking them in diesel and lighting them on fire and catapulting
Wow.
at each other.
Just gonna add arson
Like I
to
said,
the
we had to
list.
make our own fun.
Jesus, we did. Man,
The
you
classic childhood activity.
you guys in Texas really do things bigger. Holy shit! I mean, we threw dirt clods. We threw like old rotten fucking hickory nuts and shit at each other. And I didn't throw any flaming dirt clods at anyone.
We would do that with the sweet potatoes. They've gone rotten, but like if you peg someone with them, they would just smell
Ooh.
and reek, man. You just nail them, and they would just nasty.
We would we'd take acorns too and whack them at each other with badminton. Badminton.
Yeah.
I can't think of the word. Rackets.
Rackets?
Yeah.
Right, rackets. Yeah, we used to do the same thing with was it pears? I think it was like right before they got ripe. They're still green and hard. You just smack them at each other.
You guys
Y'all
are
were,
wasting
like-
food. Me and my friends were like
Mhm.
climbing mango trees trying to get lunch.
Where did you grow up at? Mango trees?
Florida.
What are you, Mowgli?
They're delicious. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it was
mango's
great. We would
Where are you from the
we'd
jungle?
make
bro?
like human towers, like my friend Blake, my best friend to this day, and we hated each other in 5th grade. He would like climb on my shoulders and he'd just pull us down a bunch of mangoes, and like that would be what we ate for the day. And sometimes if they weren't ripe yet, an unripe mango is green and sour, so we would like carry a little salt
Mhm.
shaker in our backpack, and a salty sour mango was delicious, and that was our lunch.
Oh man.
Where did you grow up at, man?
Florida, South Florida.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I was thinking like the Virgin
Is
Islands
this
or
like
something.
No.
the origination of the Florida man story, where it comes from?
No,
It's just
he
me
robs
and
grocery
running in the
stores
woods.
naked. That's Florida, man. I forget
You're
who
not
that.
far off.
There's a comedian that's from I don't know. He's got to be from like Alabama or somewhere, but that's like one of his TikToks that went viral is where they were talking about like who would win a war, and they broke the states into like 3 different groups. And he's like, man, Florida man's gonna F everybody up.
I first heard about Florida man when we moved to Florida. My family in South Africa were like, "Oh, you're the next Florida man." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Let's Google it.
Oh god. Every Florida man headline, I'm just like, what is wrong with people?
A lot. There's a lot wrong here.
Yeah,
That's funny.
that explains why the cops are so no nonsense. Though they're like,
You guys, I
Oh, so I,
was gonna say, you ever make potato cannons with a little hairspray?
I was just about to ask you that. Actually,
Those were fun.
Yeah.
As long as you put it together right.
We actually used an air comb.
Yeah,
compressor.
we weren't that fancy.
Wow.
Yeah, we were. Well,
"What is the
I mean,
potato thing? Walk me through this."
So you,
okay.
you get like a length of PVC pipe, right? Like plumbing PVC. And you get a barrel that's roughly the size of a potato. Obviously, not every potato is the same diameter, so you got to cram some of them in there. But you get about, I don't know, maybe a 4 or 5 foot piece of pipe that the potato fits in. And then you put a little flange that goes into a bigger chamber in the back of PVC. And you put one of those screw-on like clean out lids with the square kind of piece on the back so you can do it. And then you drill a hole in that, and you put a grill igniter in it. One of the little push-button grill igniters. Then you get one of your buddies. You get a couple of shitty-ass discount hairspray cans, and you just spray as much of that shit in the chamber as you can. Screw that lid back on and bump the grill igniter, and you have liftoff.
Yeah.
And it was a competition to see who could shoot a potato the furthest.
This is why aliens don't visit us.
Yeah, dude, they get
Shoot
crazy.
them down.
Dude, you can do it with an air compressor and a shut-off valve. I've seen dudes make them with like the foot pedal bike pumps to compress them. You can do all kinds of crazy shit. I've seen propane powered ones. You can get really creative. And it doesn't have to be just potatoes you're launching out of it either. Anything you put in front of the potato is also going flying.
Yeah.
You can put a gerbil in there.
You can put a gerbil. You can put a goldfish if you want. You can put a handful of rocks.
What is it with putting gerbils in things? I don't get that.
The reason I said I was sent a radio broadcast years ago, probably 10, 15 years ago. Just Google Armageddon gerbil. And
No.
Oh no, we're going to look this up now.
Don't look it up now. It's also we're going to play on this show. But
We got banned.
it's kind of funny in a twist, dark humor kind of way.
Well, at one of my previous employers, I'm not going to say where. We made a potato cannon, and we had launched it, and we lost where the potato went. But then, I think a week later, there's a small article in the newspaper about potato mysteriously crashes into roof or something like that. We're like, okay, well, we know where it went now.
We this was
Do you guys ever get busted or anything like that?
get what?
Like
What's that?
What happens if you got caught or like if something bad happened? Nothing.
You don't get caught, Luke.
It's hard
Yeah,
to
yeah,
track
you
a
don't
potato
get caught.
launched from a couple hundred yards away.
Yeah. We live in the rural areas out here, or you could go to the
Okay.
rural area.
So you didn't do anything in town.
No, there's way too many witnesses
Yeah.
there.
So I had my one experience with a potato gun. I didn't have it, but my friend had it, and he just had a tall fence. So he just kind of shot it over the fence, and wherever it went, it went.
There was no aiming it. I mean, unless you're aiming for something right in front of you, you weren't going to hit anything at a distance. So that's all you did was launch it and pray you didn't like cause an accident or send it through somebody's house window or something. But I mean, that is what it is.
Oh yeah.
We weren't very scientific. We weren't like the Mythbusters.
Oh no!
We were just idiots with hairspray and potatoes.
Oh dude, we made We made lye bombs for shits and giggles. Which so it's like styrofoam and I think it's lye that goes in it, and the two, like, the chemical reaction. I mean, it's not gonna blow somebody's house up per se, but you can put it. I mean, if you put it in a plastic bottle, it just basically makes a loud fucking boom, and we thought it was the bee's knees.
You do the same thing with dry ice and water.
But we
and something else in aluminum.
Aluminum reacts with a lot of shit.
I know you can do it with chlorine and brake fluid.
Isn't that really bad, though, the chlorine thing? Chlorine and
sure it is.
Chlorine's not
it's because of gas.
General.
Yeah, it's not good in general.
So it's actually really dangerous. What was it?
Mustard gas?
We did it, or like someone really was about to do it.
Yeah, I was thinking, are you thinking of like bleach and Windex or something mixed together? That ain't good either. Yeah.
I think bleach and ammonia makes tear gas or something like that.
Yeah, it makes like it's really not healthy.
I need to make some
this
of that. Episode
is for sure.
Yeah, you gotta read the bottle of the cleaning chemical, and it'll tell you.
Well, yeah. I mean, I know diesel fuel and ammonium nitrate don't go well together. You know, I've heard that.
What are more explosives we could teach our listeners?
And we just got taken off YouTube.
We used to use tannerite in growing up. We would just shoot that with a gun and just explode everything. We put it on like a tree stump and just explode it.
Yeah.
If y'all ever seen those videos?
Never around with any tannerite. We did shoot Roman candles at each other.
That was fun. Bottle rockets.
Everybody would grab a trash can lid and we'd run around the friggin' field shooting Roman candles at each other, or mortars. Had one guy shoot a mortar right at us. Yeah, that was scary.
We used to drive down the highway, hanging out of the back of the truck and shoot at random cars.
That's not safe.
That's
not by
Are you not
I'm
in
sorry.
jail?
When did we decide we're going to talk about safe activities?
Well, growing up in East Texas, you know, there was a very small town in East Texas. You got away with a lot of crap because there weren't enough cops. There's like one cop on like a time.
One of my buddies, his dad worked in like a smaller little it was 2 or 3 story office building, and anytime someone had like old shit, he'd take us up on the roof and we'd throw it off the roof, and thought that was freaking amazing. Like old ass TVs or like people's stereos that broke, we just go up there and throw it off the roof to see what the hell happened.
It's kind of cool.
I mean, that'd be like being in one of those rage rooms.
Pretty much. I mean,
yeah.
And at that time, all the TVs failing were those big ass like console TVs. So it took it took 4 of us to get it up onto the like lip of the roof and then push it over. But they didn't care.
I remember we had one of those old TVs. You know, like they were the big ones that was like the console and everything was built into it. And I remember when it broke, my dad and I tried to move it, and we couldn't move it. We're like, screw it. So we put we put a tablecloth over it and just put the new TV on top.
A lot of people did. It like became some weird like fixture in the house because nobody wanted to move it.
Oh, but I'm pretty sure when we sold that house, we just left it.
I had it wasn't one of those console TVs, but like flat screen TVs that just started coming out and getting cheaper. But I had it was like a Magnavox TV, and it was, I don't know, probably 36 inches wide, and that sucker weighed like every bit of 100+ pounds. And when we moved out of the apartment I had it in, my buddy and I were trying to carry the thing down the stairs, and it had these little chintzy handles built into the case, and about halfway down the stairs, the handle just shattered, and that thing just bounced all the way down to the first floor, just shit everywhere, wrecked the wood on the steps. We're like, oh man, there goes our deposit. So
it's all right. You probably weren't going to get it back anyways.
Yeah, and IKEA furniture. He my buddy had a giant IKEA like one of those stand-up wardrobes, and we delicately got it down the stairs. And we're getting ready to bring it off the porch stairs, and somebody caught one of the corners on the stair, and that thing just fell like a deck of cards. not salvageable. Everybody just kind of dropped it. And we were like, all right, well, you need a new wardrobe now.
The freaking image I have in my head of y'all is like the scene from Deadpool, to where like they're trying to put the dresser together and Blind Al is the one dude and they're arguing about it. Oh man. So hey, did y'all do anything like stupid with y'all's cars, like as far as like mooning people or like just decking them out with stupid stuff?
We had this weird.
Did y'all do anything like?
We all had like super cheap cars. And in high school, the group I hang out with, most of us had like a lifted Jeep that we would off-road and crap. And we had some weird fascination with. It was kind of like playing tag, but we would throw freaking pennies at each other's cars.
What do you mean?
You would just drive by someone that you're friends with, and you peg their car with a penny, and you'd get a point if you hit it.
I had one buddy with a station wagon, old school station wagon. I don't even remember what year model it was, and we were stupid, man. We would moon people going down the highway. We would refer to the windows as bomber hatches. So we'd tell them, drop bomber hatch 1. We'd just hang our butts out.
I don't think I've ever mooned anyone in a moving vehicle.
Oh, you're missing out, man.
Flipped a lot of birds, but I don't think I've ever had my ass cheeks hanging out the window. I did have a friend relieve himself while the car was moving about 45 miles an hour with the door open. I was waiting for him to fall out. Yeah, door open.
Okay, I can see you hanging out the window.
No,
but the
door was open.
There are reasons why insurance companies exist.
Yeah.
Listen to this. It's like,
that would have been some awful road rash.
Yeah, freaking terrible.
I used to be I was called a brand ambassador for Bacardi, and I'd never owned a car before. So I was in my early 20s, and I personally put it off to food poisoning, but I ended up having 5 accidents in a year and a half.
Wait, was this here or still in South Africa?
In South Africa.
Oh, okay.
I got fired for my safety because the last accident went through a complex wall, which landed on a carport, and three other cars. One of them being an imported Merc 300 SL.
Were you just a shit driver or what?
I'm going to go with shit driver and food poisoning. That's the story I'm going to stick to.
Okay. He was sampling the product.
Only ever me. There was never anyone else involved in the accident except for me. But then,
I'm guessing, did you watch a lot of Dukes of Hazzard or? Nope. I didn't know you were trying to reenact that or what.
Responsibilities of owning a car while keeping an active social life.
Nice.
Sleep deprivation, bad food, all those kind of things. It impacts you.
Well, I had a 94 Ford Ranger that had been rebuilt, and all my friends had lifted trucks. So mine wasn't really lifted, but I put some off-road tires on it, and I was trying to keep up with them going across a pasture because we were going camping. At some point, I had high centered my Ranger on the transmission, so it's sitting there doing this. My cousin jumps on the back. He's jumping up and down. He's trying to get the back tires down so I'll make some contact so they will go. Well, fine. I've got him first gear and just floored. He finally makes contact as he's jumping on the back. It takes off, and he hangs on, and then I hit the brakes, and he launches over into the tailgate. I just look in the back, and this is all I see. I just crawled in the bed. I was like, you okay? And all I hear is a, I'm like, he's good.
He's still breathing.
He's breathing.
Kind of.
Barely, but breathing.
I think my first car was a 2-door 1988 Jeep Cherokee with manual crank windows. I think it had a 4-speed transmission. They were still making I think it was a 2.5 liter. But that was a hand-me-down from my dad. The freaking roof liner was like falling out of it and all flapping when the windows were down. But I drove that thing till the oil pump finally failed on it. And I had no idea what it was. I was just driving it around clueless, and all of a sudden the machine or the engine bay sounded like there's a friggin' AK-47 under it. Just the loudest freaking racket you've ever heard. And so I got it home and we pulled the oil pan because right before it started clacking, the low oil light came on. And I got it home and a buddy of mine and I pulled the oil pan and it was not good news.
Which is much of metal shards.
Oh, metal shards. It was the pump itself had seized up entirely, and there were just chunks of the pump down in there. It was bad.
That is what you call a Craigslist special. You just put engine has a slight knock.
I think no, that one I think we did the Cars for Kidneys or whatever, where you donate it to the Kidney Foundation for a. It goes to a junkyard, but they give you like a X amount of dollars for a tax write-off or whatever. But I had that. I mean, that was a cool car. And then after that, I drove my mom's like Buick for a while. That thing was a ocean liner on the road. Drove so smooth, but it was like driving a giant freaking boat.
Just a yacht.
Exactly. Had the super like squishy cloth seats, ashtrays all over the place.
Did it have the air rides?
No, it didn't. It didn't have air ride, but it was big enough and had beefy enough shocks that were all blown to hell.
Do you guys ever smoke in your car?
It was cruising. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, with the windows up, kids in the back glass.
It's crazy, but I think I quit smoking six years ago. But before that, well, back in South Africa, I never really drove and smoked yet, but back in South Africa, I just smoked all the time in the car, in the house. Like it wasn't a thing. I couldn't even think of smoking now in the house or in the car. I don't know. But you guys smoke now when you quit.
No, I don't smoke at all. So like my mom smoked, and I didn't realize like how bad like my clothes smell like cigarettes until I moved out. And then once I moved out, I was like, oh my God, my clothes reek. I just literally rewashed everything when I moved out. I didn't even realize it. But I remember like she used to smoke in the car with the windows up. We used to cut the seatbelts out of cars. We used to lay in the back glass and we hit the brakes. You come flying out and hit the floorboard. You pop up, do it again. You know,
no.
You just hop back up there and do it again.
No, I was living with another chick that was also a manager with Starbucks back in my Starbucks days, and it came time to move out of the apartment that we were in there, and I was going to move in with some buddies, and we were just going around doing like some general cleaning, and I think it was like near the kitchen. Somebody had somebody spilled some food or some shit on the wall, and so she goes over there with like a Mr. Whatever, Mr. Clean Eraser, cleaning the wall. And she does one swipe, and she was like, what in the hell? Like, we thought she ate some of the paint off. No, she didn't eat the paint off. It was all the friggin' shit built on the walls from all of us smoking in that apartment for like 3 years. Dude, it was like, from that day forward, I was like, never friggin' smoking inside a house or apartment again. It was gross.
It'll turn a White House yellow, dude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
As soon as when I quit smoking, I was blown away by what I could smell after the fact. Like
your taste too comes back like really crazy.
I've never had strong taste buds for some reason, but the smell is like I used to smoke. I used to wake up in bed and light up a cigarette. The ashtray was like right next to my pillow, kind of thing. Like it was terrible. And I just think about that now, and I'm like, what? How could I have done that? Could I not smell? Like, could I not realize? But as soon as you
didn't give a shit, man. It was got to get that fix.
I was early 20s. Like, it was just what you did.
We
this is the 90s. You know?
Yeah, when all the bars around here started making that transition to where first in Richmond, they went to like, you had to have a designated smoking section, right? And it had to be separated completely from like the other parts. And then they went to full no smoking inside, no matter if you had like a non-smoking section or not. And when they made that transition and you walked into a bar and it no longer had all that smoke to mask it, it just smelled so bad. It smelled like vomit, stale beer, food that's never been. It was just, all the bars just smelled like absolute shit when they ended smoking.
I still remember going to Denny's and asking my family if we wanted smoking sections or non-smoking sections, and it's just I don't know. It's funny that was just such a normal thing.
Or you can smoke in airplanes, man.
Really? Oh my god!
Yeah, you could smoke in an airplane. There was literally ashtrays there. You could smoke. The whole fucking plane is just like a haze of smoke going.
So hold on. That means not only could you bring cigarettes, but you could also bring lighters. Like that's wild to me.
Oh, yeah.
You could keep your shoes on. I can tell you that.
I remember when I first started in healthcare, there was nurses and doctors smoking at the desk in the ER.
What the hell?
Oh yeah,
it's a different.
I remember I had a partner on the ambulance that would smoke between calls, like literally, like I can't tell you how many times he would like hang it out the window on like a call. He would just set it right there, and then we'd run the call. He'd come back and just pick right back up, like wherever he left off.
Yeah, most hospitals now are like entirely non-smoking campuses. Like you can't even be on their property and light up.
Most areas are non-smoking, man. Most areas are non-smoking.
Yeah.
But this everything, alcohol, like 20 years ago, binge drinking was funny. Like it was like that guy, whatever. It was almost like people wore it as the badge of pride. Now it's just not a thing, and smoking, and it's just a whole thing. And the irony is, weed is good, mushrooms is good, drinking bad, smoking bad.
Yeah.
It's like a total 180 from 20 years ago.
It's all that science, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it means I have to try some mushrooms and weed and see what everyone's talking about.
Yeah, mushroom. What was it? Muddy water. You got to get your muddy water.
Muddy water. Yeah.
I remember.
I'm gonna try that shit.
I remember. What was that muddy water? It's like mushroom and what else?
Mushroom.
That
mostly
just mud water. Oh, okay. I didn't know there's something else mixed in with the mushrooms or whatnot.
Hello, doggo. What kind of dog is that?
The free kind.
The mutts. Okay, yeah. I have a mutt as well.
50 bucks.
Nice. That's funny. All right, so we got childhood shenanigans. We got first cars. Wait, did you say your first car, Julia?
No, I didn't. I had a 2000 Ford Escort.
Nice.
It was a 2-door, cost $900, and I ran it into a wall because my tires lost traction on like a dirt patch on the road basically, and I just slid on a curve and I hit the barrier and I snapped the CV joint. And
that was more than the car to fix, probably.
It was more than it cost to fix. But my dad flipped cars for a living, so he fixed it, and we sold it for $900.
Nice.
So you know what? Works for me.
Nice. All right, so then we can talk about, I don't know, you guys want to get nostalgic?
Oh yeah, come on.
What you got? What's your favorite piece of nostalgia from childhood?
Oh God, I think all these toy shops now, I like all these collector toy shops. We have like 3 of them in this town that I live in alone. And like to walk in, and my biggest thing is probably the Ghostbuster packs. Like, I don't know if you remember those, dude, because I was all about Ghostbusters, man. I remember I walked in, I looked over, and they had a like almost brand new Ghostbuster pack with the box, like right there. I was like, like it took everything I had to not just buy it, because I'm sure my wife would be like, "What the hell are you gonna do with that?" Nothing, just look at it.
Just hold it.
Thundercats and Master of the Universe has been making the wrong.
Yeah, Thundercats. I know. I don't know Master of the Universe.
Oh, Grayskull.
Oh, did you see they're making a Thundercats movie?
What?
What?
Yeah, they're making a Thundercats movie. movie.
When?
That's
I
sick.
think
I didn't know that.
I think I saw it's like
It's not
2025.
live
I
action,
think.
is
Have
it?
they casted Lionel yet?
I don't know. They didn't say. They just had the emblem. It said 2025. That's all it had.
Oh, I want to know who's going to be Snarf.
Yes.
Danny
But Matthew
DeVito.
McConaughey is one of the characters.
2024 coming out next year.
Oh, is it 2024?
Yeah.
All
It's
right,
still
Danny
coming.
DeVito needs to be Snarf.
Or the guy's name from Ghostbusters. Was it Rick Moranis? We can get him to play Snarf.
There we go.
Or Bobcat Goldthwait to play Snarf.
That's funny.
If you remember him from
If you
Police
ever need any laughs, so this is a
Academy.
total tangent because not like we do that on this.
Never.
Mhm.
Have you guys
Never.
ever watched roasts?
Watch
Yeah.
what?
Roasts?
Like
Roasts.
roasting a comedian.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen a few.
Like holy
Or
shit.
the roast
dude.
of a previous president.
I found Jeff Ross, and
Oh
he's
yeah.
like the roast master general or something.
Mhm.
And they have these celebrity roasts. They're fucking brutal, man. Like that alone would make
Yeah.
me like, I don't want to be famous. I don't want
Yeah.
anyone to know my name.
Yeah.
Just leave me the fuck alone.
Have you ever watched the roast battles?
Yeah. Phew, man.
Oh
don't-
man. It's so funny because that's how there's a TV show that I watch now that I discovered because of roast battles, because the guy who won it, he was just so ruthless and he looked like a hillbilly and he just destroyed guys. And then he said something about a show and I discovered a show and so I've been watching it since. I'm like, this is awesome.
That's funny.
It's rough, man. Like there's just nothing is sacred. Parents passing.
Oh,
Shit! It gets
Well,
like that personal.
No, it's-
Oh,
it's-
man.
No,
Oh,
it's,
dude.
it's intense. And then I've seen roast battles between people with different disabilities,
yes.
and they're going.
Is this a
after
show
each
or like
other.
some local underground shit that
It's
people
right.
record?
No,
It's called insult comedy. So it's a thing where essentially you got to be as thick-skinned as they come because in order to give it, you got to be able to take it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Mhm.
never done in just a one-sided thing. It's always done in a, I'm going to roast you. I'm going to say the most fucking awful, funny shit I can. And then I'm going to shut up and you're going to say it back. And they don't hold back, man. They're just like, I'm going to bury you. It's like, I'm going to send you to therapy for the rest of your life.
It's so fascinating though how it can be so personal, but it's not personal at all. Like they're going after
Right.
each other, and afterwards they're like hugging and laughing, and it's just like,
yeah, I mean, it's
well, I have to say this because I work in healthcare. A lot of the relationships in healthcare are kind of like that. Like we will roast and just bust
It's
each other's
banter.
balls. Yeah, it's bad.
but
I think when you
in front of a big audience, like it's
Yeah.
just not mano a mano. It's hey world. I don't know.
I remember the roast of David Hasselhoff. Ooh. That was because not only did they go after him, but they also went after Lisa Lampanelli, and oh man, they got. Ooh,
She's called the Queen
I
of
can't say
Mean.
those jokes here.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Take a look.
I think-
You'll just you'll cringe at
Yeah,
some
I'm
of
gonna have to watch it.
Yeah.
back to roast. So I think one of the best ones that I ever saw was the roast of Justin Bieber,
it. Yes.
but the best roaster was Martha Stewart.
Jesus.
She
yeah.
was a
Shit.
savage, and it was
That's,
amazing.
that's from all that
And,
jail time.
She was the
Yeah, right.
she was the only,
Jail
she
time,
was the
hanging out
only
with
one
Snoop.
Mm-hmm.
She even did it.
Yeah.
She was on the stage, like a bunch of us, like Ludacris and Snoop Dogg and Justin Bieber, and she's like, all these rappers up here, and I've done more jail time than any of you. Or something. It's-
That's funny.
I really feel like with that roast that they pulled their punches with him because they could have gone way worse with him, and I feel like they didn't go like all full throttle like they would have like with some of the other people
with Justin Bieber.
because like I think I feel like they kind of pulled the reins back a little. I feel like they didn't because they got and maybe it's just because they did I think Hasselhoff before
right.
and a few others before and they just destroyed them like Bruce Willis they went off on them.
I didn't know Bruce Willis ever had one. I know Dave
Yeah.
Franco. I know Donald Trump had a roast.
Yeah.
Bob Saget.
Pam
I
Anderson.
saw the Bob Saget one.
The Bob Saget one was rough. dude.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's funny. You see Bob Saget like back to nostalgia. Like, he's like America's dad. He's on Full House. He does America's Funniest Home Videos. And then if he's not in one of those, it's just dick jokes, dick jokes,
Yeah.
dick jokes.
Yeah. That's funny.
Oh,
He
yeah.
came
Yeah,
on
the
like
Bruce Willis one was rough as well.
the
It
what?
was like the Bruce Willis one.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay, Bruce.
he's got this brain disease now where he's like loses all his memory. And,
Mhm.
and I think it was they bring Demi Moore on, and he wasn't expecting it. And she's like, I'd say a bunch of shit and have a go at him, but he won't even remember it. It's just like,
Yeah.
I know the Pam Anderson one was bad too, man. Like, ooh, they went after her.
it's next level.
It was funny though.
Dark humor in its finest. I mean, some of the stuff is really sharp. And like I said, if you give it, they take it. Like, it's funny. Though.
Yeah,
You'll
that's not
cringe.
Yeah.
for me.
So, Nick, what about you with the nostalgia? Man? Like, what was your
Dude,
thing?
I don't know. So we have one of those stores around here too, and I like to go in, and there's this one like giant section where I don't know it. You rent a booth, like the sellers rent a booth. It's like a flea market, but all they have is like old collectible toys. Is 90, and then they have this weird little corner where it's nothing but blow mold like holiday decorations. But everything else is like vintage 80s, like early 90s toys. And like the first big booth when you walk in, I'm just like He-Man. Like if you have the original friggin' He-Man, he's like $500. And I'm like, I grew up with that. And then like Skeletor in their original packaging is like $1,000. And I'm just looking, the pizza, the friggin' Ninja Turtles pizza tank was like selling for like $300. I'm like, man, I had all of this shit. Like, why did I lose all the parts and like throw it away?
It's all half buried in the backyard, chewed up by a dog.
Yeah.
I still have them. They're not in the packaging though, so they're worth nothing.
No, they still, dude, He-Man sells for big money, like package or not.
Really?
As long as he's not like missing limbs, he still sells for money.
Dude, I'm pretty sure I've still got Castle
Well, you better go find it.
Yeah, all that shit. Like, my mom didn't. Like, she didn't throw any of that away.
Yeah,
She
I
told me.
have a ton of crap in my mom's attic, but I'm not. Dude, we have tubs and tubs of Beanie Babies. I know y'all had some Beanie Babies.
I know. I got a bunch of. I collected comics as a kid, a bunch
Dude,
of Archie comics, and I've got the number 1 or number 2 issue of Jughead Jones from like 1979.
Wow.
I think it was.
Really?
Yeah, and that's all sitting in South Africa, still in a big box. Tons of comics.
Dude, we could give a Beanie Baby to every kid in America and still have
What is it?
half an attic full.
Yeah.
And
And
so
everyone's
too
like-
many Beanie Babies.
Yeah, and now they're not even worth like the effort it costs to get them out of the attic and sell.
Yeah.
It's just
Is-
it's friggin' I don't know how we got into it.
Because my neighbor had them in glass cases on display in their living room. Like,
Oh,
I don't know
We did.
how this
Yeah.
branding happened, but good job, TY, for convincing people
It was
that if you buy
McDonald's,
this
man.
stuffed animal, so many people were convinced that these are going to be big money
Yeah.
one day.
Because
And
the
then-
originals were, and the originals still are. Like if you get a Generation 1 like Beanie Baby, those are worth some friggin' money.
Mhm.
But when
What
they
is
really
Beanie
got,
Baby?
it's literally like a little miniature animal, and they give them cute little freaking names, and they have a little life story on the little tag on them, and everyone was convinced that one day they were going to be worth big money, and now they may be worth what you paid back then right now, but most of them are not worth shit. And people, I mean, I remember waiting because Hallmark was the only place that sold them. The Hallmark
Mhm.
card store.
Right.
And I remember like we knew the days they released them. So we'd go in, we'd wait outside on the days they released them to like go in and try and get the new releases and shit.
Wow, that's funny, man.
And at the time it was awesome. Like I remember going with my mom and my dad, and we thought it was so cool when we got like one that was supposed to be rare, you know, like the fucking teddy bear ones and shit. But
Mhm.
now you're just like, man, that was a lot of wasted money and effort.
Good memories,
But
though.
I think it was McDonald's that really got it going when they started putting the like mini ones in the friggin' Happy Meals.
Mhm.
Or
Yeah, it's because
somebody talk.
We all got really excited really fast.
We all stopped. That was
I'm
great.
going to go to total tangent.
People
so
are
you
going to
guys
think
go.
our cameras froze for a second.
I was just
Oh,
gonna
I
say
know.
Happy Meal toys suck now.
Oh, they're
I get a
fucking
Happy
terrible.
Meal
You get
for
a
my kid,
coloring
they're
book.
garbage.
But you paid
Yeah.
$5 for a Happy Meal. Like,
Yeah.
to get a burger, fries, apple slices, and a drink for $5, it's like,
yeah,
we'll get all 4 of our kids a Happy Meal. It's like this. It's like $15 for
That's
4 kids.
sick.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
We can't live on this.
You got to bring back the 29 and 39-cent hamburger and cheeseburger.
It's
I-
insane, the price.
I
I mean,
lived on
they've
those
got to have
ones,
their
yeah.
system so down pat that to make profit on that, because like how?
I know you guys have had a cupboard filled with those damn Disney cups from McDonald's too.
The ones
That
that,
was
were
like the-
painted with lead paint.
Yeah, that was the go-to
Yeah.
drinking glass. If you didn't have those
yeah.
or the like holiday Coke glasses from McDonald's in your cabinet, you weren't shit. You had to have those.
so we were cleaning out my in-laws' garage, and we found some still in the box. A set of 4 still in
Nice.
the box. We got them upstairs.
That's sick.
So we're holding on to those. We're like, this is our 401k. We're done. We're set for life.
This is my Microsoft stock.
I know.
That's that damn
this is
Bitcoin I should have
Apple. I'm not
bought.
selling it.
No, man, I'm still bummed out about it. My nostalgia thing. I was big into Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
And that was all about that. That was
Yeah.
like perfect time for me. And I had a bunch of sick ones. Like I had first edition Charizard, holographic, and all of that. And
Did you go to
I was
Toys R
convinced
Us
to
to
give it away
play?
to a family friend. No, I didn't.
Oh man,
But I was convinced to give my collection away to a family friend's kid. And I'm really upset about that.
I sold
Why
a
would you
whole
do that?
friggin' binder of probably like a shit ton of first editions. There was probably 300-400 cards. I sold it at a yard sale for $20. Probably like
Oh,
10 or 15 years ago. I sold it,
oh, that
and
hurts
now
my
I
soul.
see
You
the
can never
price of
know
those,
that. I mean,
and I'm just like,
like, shoulda, coulda,
holy
woulda,
shit,
yeah.
dude.
So at my local,
I would have bought fucking Amazon stock in 1998.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
so at my local toy shop here, like the nostalgic toy shop, a guy comes walking in, 2 huge Rubbermaid bins. He opens them up. Ninja Turtles,
Ooh.
the van still in the box. The blimp.
Oh, the
still in
van
the
had
box.
that machine
shredder
gun that flopped down the side, right?
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
that shit.
He still had the shredder in the box,
Wow.
like the shredder round ball vehicle was still in the box.
Nice.
Like, where did you find these?
my wife's cousin like that. Cousin, he's been collecting this. He's literally he pays for a storage. He's been paying for a storage for like 10 years, and everything's still in the box, just storing it away, waiting, kind of thing. And he's got I'm talking like 90s shit to 2000 to 2010s. You know what I mean? Like for the last 30 years, all he's been doing is collecting it, never unpackaging it, shoving it in storage, and living his life.
Wow.
And I'm just like, hey, how the fuck did you have the discipline for 30 years to do that shit? Because when I was 10, 15,
Wow.
20 years old, like, I had no forethought
So,
to that kind of
The
thing.
guys that do it now, they buy duplicates. So like they'll buy a kid for their toy, or they'll buy a toy for their kid to like rip the legs off and mutilate, and then they'll have the second one that they put like into their collection or put it away.
I'd also buy a kid for my toy at the prices they're going for.
Dude, a
Sorry.
single like
I don't-
action figure nowadays, because they're like superposable and can do crazy weird shit, is it's like $15-$20.
Yeah.
So I went to, they got, it's called Mythical, I don't know, some like, well, not a toy shop, but it sells all the sort of, the words escape me, but it's got everything from Star Wars to
It's a nerd shop.
Harry Potter, all the nerd, exactly, nerd stuff. And there's a He-Man there, big freaking He-Man thing, collector's edition, what number of a kind,
Is it
$500.
is it a pop figure?
Yikes.
We
It was a
collect.
big thing. I mean, it would have been probably a torso kind of thing, but $500, I'm like,
No,
we
you're kidding.
Come on.
we collect those little Funko Pop figures, and that's like we can't afford the old He-Man dudes, so we buy like the He-Man Pop figure to like stay in touch with. Yeah, there you
There
go.
we go.
There you go.
That's
Funko's
funny.
in Everett, where we lived a year ago, kind
Yeah.
of thing. The sickest store in the world. It really is so much fun.
Is it just like a Funko stuff? Is it owned by Funko?
everything. Yeah, it's where they make
What?
everything. It's like their headquarters. It's Funko
Man.
headquarters
I need to go
in
there.
Everett, Washington. It's freaking cool. It's really random in the middle of downtown Everett, which is nothing amazing. Like the Everett prison's like a few blocks over, kind of thing. Like it's nothing.
That's
But
because they make them
they've
all.
done it really good. And it's just those little things everywhere, but it's got like giant statues of them as well. You know
That's
what I mean? Like
crazy.
they got a whole Harry Potter section where they got the shop windows, and inside the windows is like the skeletons and the witchcraft stuff, and it's brilliantly done. It's
Man,
really good.
we've got a couple of the bigger ones. I think they're like 18 inches tall that we've got. Yeah, those are pretty sweet. I don't remember which ones we have right off the top of my head. But we got like a bunch of old horror characters. I think we have the clown from It. We've got like Michael Myers.
Pennywise.
Yeah. I can't remember what else. But yeah, we basically, if we see one and it's like something we used to love, we're like, oh yeah, I gotta have that. So we buy them. My wife and I are forever like seeing them in stores and sending a picture like, do we want this? We're like, yeah, fuck it. We got like, I did these built-ins on the beside our TV down in the family room, and we intended to put like DVDs, which no one has anymore. But like DVDs, if she wanted to like seasonally decorate, no, it's all fucking pop figures now, just everywhere. All like they're behind each other because there's no space anymore to put them. So
I feel judged. We have DVDs, but
I know. I mean, we have them, but and we buy them. We buy them for our son because we can pop it in a little mobile DVD player when we're going on a trip somewhere, and not have to like give him the phone to throw around the car. So.
Oh, that's another good topic we can talk about next time, guys, is the nostalgic road trips you did as a kid, man. Oh, that'd be a good stories. Oh, man.
Well, I think we're all going to turn into pumpkins, speaking of, if we don't wrap this episode up soon. But that was I almost want to revisit this nostalgia topic because I feel like there's a bunch of shit we left out that we could probably still talk about. So thank you guys for hanging out with us again. Like, subscribe, check out the Facebook page. We're trying to put some effort into that lately. So come on over, drop us some comments. We want to interact with you guys. We want to know what you guys want to hear about. And we will see you next week. Deuces.
Later. Bye.